Hey guys, I got a new camera. Today's video is on how I get my makeup so good in pictures. My everyday makeup is a lot different from my going out and taking pictures makeup, so I'm gonna share that with you guys, my tips and tricks to make your makeup look good in pictures. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first is always the base. So for my base, I always moisturize and prime with a really glowy primer. These are my two base products. The MAC Hyperreal Serumizer. It's so good, it's so smooth, it goes on so nice, and it makes my skin like almost wet, which is what we want. Next, I go in with the Frilliance Perfecting Primer plus Serum. This just makes my makeup stay for longer and it gives me a nice base. So first we're gonna do eyebrows, because I always notice that whenever I'm taking pictures, my eyebrows, they look fine right now, but in pictures I always notice that they look so much lighter on my face, so I want to bring that contrast back. The way I do my eyebrows is I just take a black eyeshadow and I just literally go over the shape that they are. Okay, now that they are darker, we're gonna move on to foundation. So for my foundation, I also always notice that it always looks lighter in pictures, so I always go for a darker foundation if I know I'm going to be taking pictures. This is my current obsession, the MAC Studio Fix. It's so good and it just sits so smooth on my skin. I think I only need like 1 or 2 pumps on each side. There we go. That's enough. Before I blend this out, I take my nano bronzing drops. They're from Indeed and they're so good, and I just mix it in to my foundation to make it just a little bit darker. And when I'm blending out my foundation, I try to avoid my under eyes because I don't want to add too much product in that area, because we're going to be adding concealer there anyways, so don't want to be too cakey. Always blend into your neck. We're looking a little bit orange right now, but trust the process. Next step is contour. Always take a really dark contour and I just blend it out. See how dark that is? Just trust the process, guys. There. Same sponge. And I just try to keep it in the area that I put it. Next is to go over your pimples with a concealer that's the same color as your foundation or your skin on your pimples or spots or whatever. And I'm just gonna let that sit and get a little thicker, and take my concealer, my regular concealer, and just go under my eyes, on my chin, and under my cheekbones. Just blend it out normally. I always put my concealer really close to my eye because I feel like the closer it is to my eye, the more it lifts. I'm just gonna blend it kind of onto my eyelid. Next step is blush. So I always use 2 blushes. This one is from Quo. It's pretty light, it's just kind of shimmery. I just use it as a base for my other blush. I put it right here. You see how glowy that is and pink and cute? Once that's on, beauty blender. See, it's not very pigmented, but it gives like a nice shimmer, which I love. Next step is powder. My favorite powder to use is the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I have used so many powders, but this one is always my favorite. I'm just gonna take a little bit, not that much. I only really put it like in my T-zone area, like right here. A little bit on my chin. I kind of avoid this entire area. A little on my forehead and chin. Next, I'm going to go in with some bronzer. I would say is one of the most important steps because I pack this stuff on. It's just this random bronzer from Ciate. I've had it for forever, and I just put it in the exact same places where I contoured. For some reason, the powder just makes it go away. I also like to put some on my nose, just on the whole thing, the whole nose. Just cover it, just cover the nose. Once that is done, next step is blush. This is my favorite blush right now. It gives like such a like I've been in the sun kind of look. A MAC blush. It's in the shade Full of Wonder. This is what it looks like. You just put it kind of everywhere. I'm just going to take the beauty blender with leftover product. I'm just going to go over my whole face with it just to blend everything out. Next step, I'm going to contour my nose. I'm going to take a little kind of flatter brush like this. I'm going to go into a more cool toned kind of brown. I'm just going to put a little bit here and just bring it up. And I always try to make the sides as close together as possible. And I bring it up to my eyebrow. Even if it looks crazy and harsh right now, it won't in a second because I'm going to keep blending until it looks smooth. Ugh. Once it looks smooth to me, I'm going to take some more powder and I'm just going to powder the sides really closely. And just let that cook a little bit. While I am letting this sit, we're gonna move on to eyes. Just take a little small brush like this and I go into a dark shade and then I put it as close to my lash line as possible. And once you have the dark shade down, take a lighter shade and blend it outwards in your crease and just up, you know? And I also bring it down here. It's more cohesive with the nose contour. That's one eye done. I'll fast forward you through the next because it's kind of tedious. Brush off this powder. My nose contour is just not complete without highlight, so I'm gonna go in and highlight my face now. I like to use a brush with like a pointy end, so I'm just using this brush and I'm gonna put the highlight here and I'm just gonna put it on the tip of my nose and right here. I do my inner corners right here and here. I take a small fluffy brush to highlight. This is the best highlight, by the way. It's the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Highlight. It's so good. Just figure out where my skin is naturally like shining and then I'll just put it there. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Next, eyeliner. For pictures, I always tightline my upper waterline. I'm gonna take an eyebrow brush and just do that. I find it's just so much more pigmented. Just do a little wing and tight line. And then I do a little tiny inner corner. And I'll bring it to like the middle of my eye, like that. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Next, I'm gonna throw on some lashes. All right, the lashes are on, and the last step is lips. I've had this lip liner forever. It's my go-to every single time. It's the NYX lip liner in nude beige, and I don't really have a trick for this, to be honest. I just try to make it as symmetrical as possible. And then a clear gloss to top it all off. there we have it. This is the finished look. So that is all for today's video. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know your thoughts on the new camera. If you guys don't like it, I'll go back to my old setup. But be brutally honest with me. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. All of my socials are in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!